Welcome back, everyone. We have finally got to the final war of the season. First thing my officer said to me at the start was, "Nob, we need that Jabari of yours." So I thought, all right then, now's the time to get up the best skill champ in the game and put her to work. Really excited to give her a bit of a showcase and see what she can do today. We're going to be going in with her and Titania. And I can't even remember who my final champ was until this comes up, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, CGR. He had a little fight today. We're doing the usual path 2. Had a couple of minis. And then big boss fight at the final end for the final fight of the season, which I was a bit nervous about, but also quite excited, as Jabs is going to be a big girl. So let's get to it. First fight, we've got Wiccan. I'm a little bit scarred by my previous effort on this node from the last war, if you watched it. I'll be completely honest, Wiccan kind of confuses me a little bit. I find him quite complicated, and I don't exactly know his ins and outs of how he works properly, but Titania doesn't really care. I know that she usually takes some kind of passive incinerate damage, but it doesn't really cause too much harm through it not being enough to kill, plus Haymaker tanks a lot of the damage. I went in with my game plan of not parrying, not that I really need to anyway. I start by parrying. Neutralize doesn't matter, but it does mean that I'm gonna get set on fire. It seems to be Titania's favourite thing to do. Again, not worried about damage. I also used a healing boost just because I could, really. Got parried there. Again, it's not really too much of a consequence here. He's going to go down nice and easy, although I'm not making too much easy work for myself. But again, just tanking some damage here. Get to the SP3 and he's going to be going lights out. Moving swiftly on, we go to Killmonger. The only annoying thing about him on this path is that I had to bring a counter specifically for him. CGR makes light work of him. He's being a villain. Killmonger starts with an armor break debuff on him, which also means I'm not going to have to worry about reverb or anything. So it's just going to be CGR's basic normal rotation: parry heavy, parry medium, light, and then with a medium ending combo after that. SP2, not quite good night, but I've got Cosmic Power back boost. The 150% wasn't quite enough on this occasion, but that's all a girl needs. And it's Night Killmonger, 28 hits, nice and quick. This middle node, I was excited for Jabari's first run out. Look at that PI with all the boosts on, I should add, so it's alright. But she's particularly good for Jess Jones because of the constant cleanse debuffs. Means the constant cleanse buffs, means that Jessica can't build her investigation charges. The node, however, does pimp Jabari a little bit, because each time the champ gets a prowess buff, it reduces one of Jabari's Huntress charges. So without meaning to be punched in the face, it also prevents Jabari getting to the hunt, which just means quicker bleeds, more damage. But she's still perfect for the node, although it does take a little bit longer. I wanted to concentrate on getting Jessica mainly to SP2. It's easier to avoid. I'm not entirely sure how an Incinerate slipped through there. Must have just been timing with combos and whatever else I was eating, but it annoyed me a little bit, but it's no big deal. All of Jessica's specials and heavies are quite easy to avoid, but I wanted to stick with the SP2 purely so that I didn't have to risk missing a dex. Based on my form for this season, really, I've seemed to have plenty of mistakes in me. Bait out one more SP2, and she's gone down nice and easily. Really pleased with Jabari's first outing, even though it wasn't perfect, but I'll take that. It's been a really tough season so far. Moving on to Absman, a bit of husband-wife relations. I had my game plan here into not let him use an SP1 straight away, get him to his magma form and knock him down immediately after the special, get to my SP3, put tons of debuffs on him, and let the Despair Mastery do a lot of the work in removing his healing, or reversing it rather, because it doesn't get removed. The fight was pretty safe, although I made a couple of mistakes during it in terms of not knocking him down a couple of times when I should have done, and I also let him refresh his form a couple of times. It wasn't too big a deal, but rather than the fight lasting what possibly could have been a minute and a half, I actually turned it into quite a long fight, which is probably going to be a bit boring to watch, but it felt quite safe nonetheless. Yeah, I'm not going to space out talking too much throughout the entire thing, because I'll get bored, you'll get bored, but yeah, just watch and see how it goes. Annoyingly, my SP3, I should have timed it better and let him use another special, because I couldn't use all of the length of the haymaker to pummel him so much, and I had to stand back and let him recover. I definitely didn't want to be eating an SP3, that's for sure. We'll save that for later in the video. Spoiler alert. He also took a really long time for me trying to bait one of his specials there, which was really annoying and just took too much time. And I also gave him quite a lot of healing, which again was really annoying. I wasn't too worried about it, as I said, keep saying, but yeah, it wasn't ideal, and I made a bit of a mess of the fight, although I know I wasn't really in danger at any time. Better use of the SP3 this time. All those debuffs, you can just see the effect it has on his healing, and it's unusual for him to have thrown a special there so early into that, because he should have been more passive in the corner. And again, we're fighting a bit of an uphill battle here against his healing, because I've just not played it ideally. But here we go. This should, I think, is the final SP3. It's not going to kill him off, but it does just push him to the corner. He behaves himself this time, and I can just finish him off there. Nice and easy, although, yeah, definitely not ideal. Coming up to Man-Thing, taking him here a bunch of times. Again, being buff immune means no pustules, which means no poison. It's a really easy, clean fight with Titania. Doesn't matter which special I bait, I prefer to stick to SP2, it's a little bit easier to avoid. I try not to bait any heavies from him, because there's always the risk of mistiming around his unstoppable, which he gains from it, which can trip you up. But no issues from the fight here. Good use of haymaker there, just to tank the special 1 projectile, and then we're going to finish him off with the SP3 and the bully session that comes after it. And that's that. Coming up to the boss fight now, I was excited to put my shiny rank 5 Jabari to good use, but equally I was a little bit nervous. It's my first boss fight of the season. A rank 5 QS is no joke. I had my game plan. Bait heavies, reply with my usual combos, pretty much how I played the hazard shift fight in the couple of wars ago, which went really well. Health pool's much bigger. I knew it was going to be a bit more dangerous there. Overall, the fight went well. Avoided the SP1 really cleanly there, which I was pleased with. And then again, it's going pretty well here. Slightly slow start, but now we've got to the hunt and make use of the counterpunch charges there, which essentially makes me unstoppable. Ate one of the heavies, one of the special hits there, which used up some of my indestructible. I'm not too worried at this point, although that ruined my invulnerability. The rest of it, it's just essentially going to cost me the fight. A successful dex there, getting a well-timed block on there, got rid of one of the whiplashes that was on me. Another one gets through to me. Not too much of an issue at this point. You can see there's a lot of bleeds on here, and I'm hitting quite hard now. Pretty pleased with how it's going, but then stupidly by this point I'm seeing that he's going down pretty fast. I thought I still had an indestructible charge on me, and decided to try and push him to the SP3, thinking I'd do more damage and he wouldn't throw it quite yet, as opposed to possibly dying to block damage from the SP2. Really stupid decision here. As I said, I thought I might survive it because I thought I had an invuln charge as well. Absolutely gutted, to be honest. We do go back in and finish him off pretty cleanly, as you'll see. We've had a really tough season, GGIR all the way through pretty much, and this war was, you'll see from the scores afterwards, this war was a loss a long way before this fight, which I think was the final fight of all 3 BGs. So whilst all eyes were on me, it wasn't a case of win or lose, which isn't an excuse. As I said, it was a silly decision of me to push him to an SP3. I wanted to put on a good showcase, and it just didn't work out this time. I'll come back stronger. We weren't brilliant there, and we were even less brilliant as an ally as a whole, but I think this still finishes us in T1, and we're going to come back strong for the next season. I know there's a lot of change coming. I certainly want to improve my game, as it's been by far not my best season. But happy overall with what I've had, starting recording, getting this channel. Thank you guys so far, and I'll see you soon. Bye.